Una-una, pag gagawa ka ng sa isang taon, lalagay mo lahat yan, ano? Nandiyan yung local development. Paano mo? Identify mo na pagkano ang amount. Now, gagawa kayo ng prioritization matrix. You talk to the barangay provides you all this list. Ano yung mga gusto nilang priority list. In the same manner, tuturuan mo rin yung barangay kung paano prioritization. So, we have defined may established parameters yan. After ng barangay, i-represent pa nila ulit sa district yon. So, the district again, gagawin nila yun. Gagawa sila ng priority. And then, this will be certified by the Liga ng barangay. After that, magkakaroon ng series of public consultation. Ang next na move niyan is i-represent yan sa, ilalagay yan sa annual investment plan, sa annual procurement plan. Then, it will be presented to the City Development Council, composed of about 100 plus na members niyan, multi-sectoral, nandiyan na rin lahat yung mga barangay officials, nandiyan na rin yung mga CSOs, nandiyan din yung People's Council, at kung ano na pa, mga religious sector, lahat. Basically, well-represented lahat, including the youth sector. And then, kung basta sa City Development Council, ibibigay na yan sa City Council for approval ng budget at yung annual investment plan. So, ganun, ka-tedious yung process na pag hindi mo nasunod ng isa at matapos yung isang project at binayaran ng local government, posible na yung COA, kakasuhan niya yung mayor at yung bank. So, at hindi nyo nailagay sa annual investment plan. Ganun ka-tedious yung process. Pero dyan sa mga batas, palugin nyo, si Congressman Sid, alam niya yan. Sa mga kapwa niya, I'm pretty sure na siya, meron matindi siyang ginagawa na ko. I heard so much about Congressman Sid at alam ko naman yung system about engaging the local government at yung consequence public consultation, very conflicted yan. Pero sa iba, ang kwan lang dyan is, ang sistema lang nila, ang framework nila is, I want this, I want that, tapos tawagin yung DPWs, implement mo. Walang konsultasyon, wala lang AIP, wala lang. Hindi ko maintindihan bakit iba yung sistema nila, wala silang accountability. Bakit ang local government, napaka-tedious ng sistema, may accountability. Diyan pala makikita ko kagad. And when I became mayor, meron na yan, existing na yan. Kaya nagulat nga ako, bakit siya nag-approve? Diba? Ang nag-approve dapat siya, secretary ng DPWA. Bakit? O kaya local government. Bakit siya nag-approve? At tinanong ko ngayon sa ibang mga local government, ano ba yung sila? Oo, gano'n din sa akin. Wala rin pa consultation. Wala rin consultation. Sabi rin pa mga mayor sa akin. Yung second na tanong mo, I'm really very sorry I wasn't able to say the name. Yung mga kausap ko are from Visayas and from Mindanao. Pinagkitirin nila sa akin yung kanilang mga problema. Hindi lang mga layers ng Luzon. It's all over the country. Luzon, Visayas.
Thank you, Mayor. May question po kay Representative Unang. Sir, kanina, yun yan, sa privilege of speech nyo, expose nyo na yung mga natalya sa 2025 budget. Ano yung ginawa po ninyong hakbang para makorek po ito at kung may pag-asa pa na may correct? And then on the 2026 budget, ano po yung gagawin po natin bilang isang kongresista po para hindi maulit ang ganitong klaseng sistema?
Ganito, medyo mahaba yung sagot. Before anything else, saludo ako sa explanation ni Mayor Magalong. He knows very well the process, no? I would like to add, based on my profession and career, yung profession ko kasi, I am an economist and a former banker. So, yung explanation nito, yung ating Philippine Development Plan, yun talaga ang vision natin. Meron tayong plano. Then aside from the long-term plan na 25 year, meron tayong 5-year development plan. Then meron tayong every year AIP, Annual Investment Program. Katulad nung sinabi ni Mayor Magalong, yung national meron din, yung local meron din. Yung ginagawa ko sa distrito ko, lahat ng proyekto ko, ini-input ko sa City Development Council. Yung City Development Council naman, nag-a-attend talaga ako. Pinipresent ko rin yun sa Regional Development Council. Yung Regional Development Council, parang nag-a-approve na yun, ipapasa na nila yun sa nila. At i-input yun doon sa national budget natin. So yun dapat ang proseso. Our biggest problem are the insertions. Because nagtatanggal sila ng budget, nag-insert sila ng budget na wala sa plano, wala sa investment program, wala sa Philippine Development Plan. Connectivity of our roads is very important. For the major economic growth point, you have to make it as a catalyst for development. Yung mga rural areas mo dapat naka-connect papunta doon. But if through insertions, pasok ng project o ng concrete na wala doon sa connectivity plans, mas lalong magulo yung traffic mo. Pangalawa, it's also the same in the flood control. Yung flood control mo dapat nakaplano yun papunta sa river at saka sa papunta sa dagat. Kung yung piecemeal project yun, binibigay mo lang per district, patay ka, mas lalong babaha yung lugar. So, as to the question, what are my plans after my expose? Well, 25 budget, malapit ang maubos yung pera. But still, and of course, approve na yung budget, medyo late lang. Actually, I saw this last January pa, kaya lang, inabutan ako nung campaign period at saka ang research. Pero technically, ang haba ng research kasi 13 items yung iniisa-isa ko at saka pang 14 yung sa syntax. So, medyo kabisado ko na yung syntax to, pero my only remedy this time is to present my privileged speech as an evidence to the Supreme Court. Because it is a clear violation that Congress, by adding figures to the automatic appropriation, really went beyond what was submitted by the President. Yung automatic appropriation kasi hindi yun napapansin eh. Kasi usually hindi namin natatouch every year. So since 2007 nung naging congressman ako, ngayon ko lang nakita ito na halos ang daming dinalaw. So yung SAGF, Special Accounts in the General Fund, dinagdagan nila ng 12.7 billion. Yung total appropriations natin sa National Expenditure Program na increase ng 12.7 billion. Congress is not allowed to add more than what the President has submitted. Pangalawa, there were in special laws amended or superseded by the General Appropriations Act. Kabisado ng mga abogado natin yan. And the General Appropriations Act amend the statutes providing for the earmarking of the
ano yung last question mo? For the 2026 budget, paano po natin ma-itiyak, sir? And ito, follow-up na lang, last question na lang. Yung sa sinabi ni Presidente na i-develop na yung 2026 budget, but hindi nakalang sa government priorities. Sa tingin niyo, sir, may pag-asa ba sa sinabi ng Paul?
Okay. With regards to 2026, anong magagawa ko? I do not belong to the majority, I do not belong to minority, so ang power ko para matulong is through my privileged speeches. I will be coming up with another privileged speech. So yung una kong i-touch was the automatic appropriations. Ngayon naman, pupunta naman ako sa program and program appropriations. Papakita ko, I hope na this time, allowed na ako magbigay ng PowerPoint presentation because I will show you the movement from the General Appropriations Act, then pag-approve ng House, pag-approve ng Senate, at saka yung resulta ng Bicameral Conference Committee. Kung kaya ko, every item, every major expenditure, ilalabas ko yun. Ongoing yung ginagawa ko ng mga PowerPoints. So yun lang. And I think my participation in the committee hearings as well as in the plenary, I wish to give some inputs there based on my experience and wisdom. Actually, mahirap kasi pag-aralan ang budgeting is different from finance and economics. Ang dami mong libro. O kunti lang talaga libro on government budgeting. So you have to learn it through experience and readings and balikan mo talaga yung archive ng debates sa House of Representatives at Senate. Some of it are available online, pero kailangan mo mag-research talaga doon sa archives. As to anong magagawa, well, let's admit it. Yes, Congress is the power of the purse. Pero during my time, when I was chairman of the Appropriations Committee, hindi ako basta-basta na nag-amend on my own. When you exercise your power of the first, you should still follow the Constitution. You still follow the statutes. Kasi may special laws yung automatic appropriations eh. So ang ginagawa ko, ito tatanggalin ko. But usually pinapatawag ko ang NEDA at DDC. Ito, tanggalin ng Kongreso. Ilipat namin ito. Pwede ba namin ilipat sa ganito? And we agree. Although, kung i-force mo, pwede. Because Congress has the power of the first. Pero sayang lang yung ipasok mo na hindi alam ng DBCC, hindi alam ng executive dahil mahirapan din mag-implement kasi stranger sa kanila yun. So, pinapatawag ko yung DBCC at saka DBWH. Yung DBWH secretary, pagpapaintindihan niya, gagawa yun ng study. Tapos, i-check kung saan DC. O bakit talaga yun sa DC, sa CDC at saka sa NEDA. Titingnan nila kung yung mga iba-iba. Now, pwede talaga magkaintindihan ang executive at legislative. Pero kung mayabang yung bike lang mo, mayabang yung kongreso mo na as if they already know everything. The basic budgeting is very important. The budget cycle and the basics of, basahin na lang yung constitutional limitations sa yung administrative code na doon. Kung mabasa na yun, more or less, alam mo na yung anong dapat ipasok at saka alam mo na yung hindi dapat ipasok. I'm a bit technical kasi I'm more of an economist sa banker kaya hindi masyadong iniintindihan ng ibang congressman. But I tell you, as early as January of 2024, nakita ko na ito lahat. I was invited in the forum sa Marisog noong 2024. I-present ko yun. Almost ang daming program. Pero sinabi mong program expenditures, shovel ready for implementation. Yun yung priority program ng gobyerno. Nilipat nila sa program fund. Ang pinalit sa program are the priority projects which are not in the development plan. Ang masakit doon, masakit. Pati yung foreign assistance projects, 56 items sa 2024, check ko na 2025 program, but majority of the foreign assistance projects nilipat sa program plan. How can you activate the foreign assistance project? Kaya ang daming delays ng major projects natin. How can you activate it? Because it is in the program fund, walang punto. And I think the President ngayon, nare-realize niya dahil nahihirapan na silang mag-implement. Because of what happened in the budget. As early as 2024, sinabi ko na yan. 2025, grabe yung nakita ko yung dark ages. How can a member of the Bicameral Conference Committee sign a Bicameral Conference Committee report with 13 pages of 28 blank items? Kaya binasa naman sana, makita mo na. Pagtingin ko agad, nakita ko na agad yung blank items. From blank to blank, from this amount to blank. And I will sign that. It cannot be a typographical error. So, questions is pending with the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will look into that and come up with a ruling because the ruling that is very important in future legislations. I hope I have answered your question. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Pasensya na po kayo, may idadagdag lang po ako, na maliit. Kasi ang tanong niyo po, anong magagawa? Ang paniniwala po naman namin dati pa po is hanggang wala pong nananagot criminally liable, no? Walang mangyayari kasi wala pong nangyayaring consequence na dun sa mga kongresista. Now, as an update po sa aking media, di ba po, ang aming kaso dun sa Ombudsman regarding the falsification of legislative documents sa violation ng RA 3019 Section 3E, no, ay naisang tabi, pinatulog muna, no? Dahil it's akin to parang prejudicial question daw. Parang ganon, no? Na yung constitutionality, bago daw hatulan yung yung criminal aspect, which is the falsification of legislative documents. With all due respect, no, to the Honorable Office of the Ombudsman, we do not agree to this, no? The falsification of the legislative documents, this is very obvious to the lawyer, is a complete and separate issue from the constitutionality. Ang pinakita po nila former Speaker Alvarez at ni Honorable Congressman Lunga, no, ay yung blanco na kalaman to the tune of 241 billion. Napakalinaw po nun at hindi dumaan sa plenaryo at napirmahan po ng mga kinauukulan. So, ayon po sa res ipsa loquitur sa batas na yung the thing speaks for itself, no? Dumaan po yan sa speaker at dun sa mga dati pong pinuno ng appropriation. Alam niyo po sila General Garcia at Diego Magpantay, sila po ang alam na alam din nila yung issue na yan about the falsification. So, in sum, kung wala pong mananagot criminally tsaka individually, bali wala kasi lagi po sila magtatawag under the veil of the congressman hood, no? So, hindi po pwede. Baka kung may gustong idagdag ng natin.
Excuse me. Meron mo lang bibilitin ng pinag-evidence. So, kung meron tayong last question, message na ako. Pro statement from Mayor Magano, please. Mayor? Last message. Mayor.
Tanong kay Mayor Magano. Pwede?
Wait. Alis na kasi si Mayor. May meeting na... Mayor. Parking words. Ayun, narinig po ako. Parking words. Close statement.
Papaalam lang po ako sa ating mga guests, si Congressman Sid, Atty. Jimmy, si Freddy, and si Sir Virilio at si Jigs. Muna, ito pong natutuwa po ako at dumarami na po tayo. Tuloy-tuloy po. We always keep the fire burning. We will sustain itong campaign natin. Promotion of good governance, especially this campaign against corruption. There will be no let up. Sana po sama-sama po tayo dito na hanggang kahuli-hulihan. Hanggang talagang maayos po natin yung sistema dahil this is the only legacy that we can pass on to our young people, our children, and our grandchildren. Maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat.
Meron, bago patuloy, photo muna sila. Photo ko sila. Ayun na lang po doon kayo.
Kaya pa ba doon? Dito.
Para balanse.
Para akong shit.
Pasensya na lang po kayo. Pasensya na lang po at nagulo kayo. Pasensya na lang po.
Wala ka ngayon? Wala siya ngayon? Yan, dito. Gusto ko. Baka makabalo sa kanya. Wala. Talaga yun.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, tuloy na tayo sa Q&A. Tuloy na tayo sa Q&A niya.
Last question na lang po from me for our legal experts. Kahit sino pwede sumagot. Unahin ko na po si Attorney Curdy. Sir, one of the framers of the Constitution, former House of Justice, as una, commented on the impeachment just this morning. Sabi niya po, and allow me to quote him, I just realized that the Constitution does not say not more than one a year. It says not more than once a year. So the present case involves that the 4 complaints initiated on one session day last Feb 5, 2025. The more than once a year rule is not violated here. Well, can we get your comment on this, sir?
We respect Attorney Monsor as one of the framers of, as one of the framers of the Constitution. However, we must always remember, as stated by so many American scholars, sina Jelinek, sina Oliver Wendell Holmes, that the Constitution is not a static thing. It is a living being. It adapts to changes in situations. When there are interpretations that seek to give life to the spirit in which the Constitution was made, that construction or interpretation must prevail. Ano pong purpose kung bakit may constitutional limitation ang impeachment? As a political tool for accountability, it is the best thing to use against the impeachable officials. But if used as a weapon for political persecution and vendetta, hindi po dapat gamitin yun. That is why there is the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court as the final arbiter. Alam niyo po, hindi ma-realize, that is what I cannot wrap my head around. Bakit hindi ma-realize ng mga legal scholars na that yung doctrine ng judicial review na nag-umpisa doon sa landmark case, 1812 case of Marbury versus Madison, where Chief Justice John Marshall said that it is emphatically the duty of the courts to say what the law is. Yan ay na-carry over at pinalawak pa sa Section 1 ng Article 8 ng ating Constitution ay hindi nila makita. There is a law. What does that law mean? The Supreme Court says what it means. Is that a derogation of the absolute authority of the House to initiate impeachment proceedings? Hindi po. Kasi they can still initiate an impeachment proceeding come February 6, 2026. But we must remember that the Constitution consists not only of a grant of powers, but a limitation of those powers, lest one department prevail over all the others. Kaya nga, it is not only separate, but equal. How do you keep it equal? Checks and balances. Yung judicial review, kaya nga po pinalawak yan, experience din ng framers ng ating Constitution, and under the 73 Constitution, maaring magtago ang ating kataas-taas ng hukuman sa doctrine ng political question. Sasabihin nila, political question yan, di namin pakikialaman. Ang nangyayari po, napakaraming lumusot na abuso noong under the 73 Constitution na hindi nasuheto dahil ayaw mag-rule ng Supreme Court. Kaya nilagay po ng framers. It is the duty, hindi na po optional, duty na ng Korte Suprema to determine whether or not there is grave abuse of discretion on the part of any department or agency of the government. It becomes the ineluctable duty of the Supreme Court na sabihin ano bang ibig sabihin ito. Lumabag pa ang House doon sa sinasabi ng Constitution. So if we're going to talk about framers of the Constitution, it is also the thinking ng mga framers na ang Korte Suprema ang mag-determine. Ano ba yung once? One a year? Ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng once? The Supreme Court has already spoken. Tapos na ang trabaho ni Justice Ascuna. Ginawa na niya yun. Tapos na. Hayaan niya na ang Supreme Court na mag-interpret. It's not for the framer to interpret what the law is now in contrast to what the law was then. Because while the Constitution is forever, it is a living Constitution. It lives and breathes and adapts to changing conditions. Otherwise, kung yun ang gagawin natin, kung anong naisip ng framers noon, na hindi naman nila naisip na yun, katulad ng internet ba noon? Diba? O, maraming wala noon na meron na yun, the interpretation has to adapt. And it is the business of the Supreme Court and none other. Hindi ko sinasabi kung sila magbigay ng opinion. Diba sabi nga nila, an opinion is like an asshole. Everyone has one. Pero, kung anong validity anyone can give an opinion. Well, problema, abogado, hindi abogado. Ngunit, at the end of the day, we have to respect what the Supreme Court says. Ganun lang naman po yung kasimple. Ang dali pong intindihin. Salamat po.
Mr. Tumbado, Filipino Mirror. Para sa lahat, may identified na po ba sila na congressmen na pinagtuloy ng contractors? Ay, sino ba sino?
Si Pag-asa.
Basta ako, masabi ko, hindi ako kontraktor.
Okay. Alam natin kung sino contractor to, di ba? Si Dong Gonzales. Hindi na sabi ko yung anomalya, yung contractor sila. O, di ba?
Tama, sinabi ko.
Oo, di ba? Contractor lang yung paningin.
Noli ng female po. Arpay Atty. Topacio and Sir Jigs. Kamakailan lang po ginanap ang rally sa Liwasan papuntang Supreme Court. Ano po attorney yung naging resulta ng rally? And Sir Jigs, since CCW yung namuna, may plano pa po ba ang sundan ito? Thank you.
Ako nais kong linawin yung kabon. Kami ay sumusuporta sa rule of law at sa ating mga justices. Wala man po, ayaw namin munang makihano sa politika, but although hindi natin maalis talagang makukulayan ang politika, but hindi naman siguro napakahirap sundin yun, yung rule of law. At ang Supreme Court, kung sila yung last arbiter natin, ano ba naman yung irespeto natin? Yung issue sa dismissal ng impeachment, iba naman yung dismissal sa kayong archive. Diba? Pag naka-archive, yung isang kaso sa korte, na wala yung subject, yung akusado, i-archive mo muna yung kaso. Pag nahuli o nakuha yung akusado, ay di pwedeng buhayin ulit. So, ganun din yun eh. Yung sa impeachment, yung ba naman ay mahirap intindihin, di ba? So, iba yung dismissal, iba yung in-archive. Okay? Pero, ayun sa tanong mo, tungkol doon sa pang ibang action, kami, nag-usap-usap kami ni Atty. Topacio kung anong dapat pa natin gawin. Pagkat natapos naman na sa Senate. So, titignan natin po kung ano ang pwede natin gawin pa. At ito naman, ayon sa issue ng corruption, kung talagang seryoso po ang Palasyo Malacanang, si Pangulong Marcos, seryoso na habulin kung sino po ang mga dapat habulin dito sa korupsyon na ito. Hindi natin nasasabi kung mga sino-sino yan di ba? Kilalanin natin maigi sino ang accountable. Kaya kami, ang suggestion namin sa
trust rating ng kanilang puno. Ewan ko sa kanila kung pinaniniwalaan nila yung pagtasya yun. Ngunit, pag nilabas na naman nila yung Quadcom, yung Tricom, ay talagang masisira na kung yan. Parang Gary Valenciano na lang ang nangyayari sa kanila. Di na natuto. So sana, Terry, I know you have an axe to grind against President Duterte dahil you were part of the Duterte government but you were removed because instead of doing your duty, you kept traveling to all places in the world, far away places with strange sounding names. Pinaya mo si Dora the Explorer. Huwag mo lang dalhin yung grudge mo na yan against Duterte. Let it rest sa bungeri yan andyan na andyan na si Boeing, lalagyan niyo pa ng Quadcom, baka overkill na. Kaibigan ko yung si Terry, pareho kaming Chick Boy daw, dismiss lang naman. So, partner Terry, chill ka na lang.
Last question na lang, last question din. Kung wala ng question, yun natin statement ng panelist. May question mo ba wala na? Post statement also.
Mga sir, mga ma'am, thank you so much for inviting me here this morning, and I look forward to meeting you in the future. Rest assured of my advocacy, and I'm fully supporting Citizen Crime Watch and the advocacy of the group for transparency, for accountability, and I also support General Mayor Magalong. Thank you and good morning.
Ako po bilang isa sa mga kinatawan ng BDP sa Executive Committee at bilang dati kong kandidato, bilang taxpayer, bilang abogado, ako po ay nananawagan sa ating kasalukuyang administrasyon that you are in a unique position right now to change the narrative with regard to particular things. Number one, yung issue po sa impeachment. Napakaganda pong escape nito para sa inyo to stand down at to avoid a constitutional crisis na at least they can save face na hindi sila natalo sa impeachment, hindi sila na-dismissan. Titigil na lang by virtue of the order of the Supreme Court. Magmumukha pa po kayong magalang at may pagrespeto sa interdependent branches of government. So yun po yung number one. Number two po, yung sa budget. You are also in a unique position dito sa midterm na ayusin yung first 3 years na palagay namin kalokohan po na budget. Dahil pag naayos po yung next 3 years na budget, kung may mga kumita na po sa inyo, kung may mga kumita po, hindi po ako nang aasahan, totoo po. Kung may kumita, if you enact 3 good budgets, makakalimutan po ng taong bayan yung first 3 sa totoo po. Kasi mararamdaman nila finally ang stabilization ng gobyerno. And by virtue of this unique position, we urge you to correct the path that this country is taking for the good of our people naman po. Kasi po naluludod na po tayo sa baha at sa korupsyon. So maraming salamat po kung kami po ay makikinggan ninyo. And I personally guarantee na kapag po inayos nyo itong padating na budget at inayos nyo yung mga investigasyon sa flood control at pati na rin sa nakaraang eleksyon, pag inayos nyo po yan, ako po ay titigil na rin sa pangungulit sa inyo. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Congressman Peñero Jimmy. Ako naman po, ito seryoso na ito. Ako naman po ay nananawagan kay Pangulong Marcos. Alam po ninyo ito. Ako po, on a personal level, I have been steadfast in defending the Marcos family. Mula po noong 1965, ang tatay ko ay nationalista. The Nationalista Party was the only party I have ever been in. I was there when it was headed by Doy Laurel. Umalis naman po ako nung medyo mga kempoy na ang nagsimulang mamuno sa Nationalista. Lumipat ako sa PDP. Ngunit, Mr. President, you have been given a 1 in a billion opportunity na yung pangalang Marcos that has been maligned and dragged through the mud for more than 40 years ay ibangon ninyo. Nasimula na po, inilagay na sa libingan ng mga bayani ang inyong ama. Siya po ay tinuring ng bayani. Bakit po hindi nyo na lang ituloy na ipakita sa mga Pilipino na yung sinasabi ng iba na ang mga Marcos ay magnanakaw, mga mapanlupig, abusado, ay hindi totoo. Sayang na sayang po, very few people are given that opportunity. Huwag nyo na pong tignan ang kapangyarihan. Power is transitory. As you yourself personally know, nangyari po sa inyo. Popular acclaim is fickle. Panandalian lang po yan. Ang itaguhin po natin, habang may oras pa po itong itirang tatong taon, ay iangat po natin ang Marcos name. And in so doing, hindi lamang po Marcos name. By doing that, you will be doing the Filipino people a favor because you will have to show them what a younger Marcos can do for the people. Huwag niyo pong pabayaang maging totoo yung sinasabi ng ibang mga kaibigan ko sa akin na yung 40 years po namin pinokontra, in 3 years na patunayan yung totoo. Napakasakla po. Always remember what the good book says, what is written in Proverbs. A good name is better than money. Maraming salamat.
Ako naman po, with all due respect, nananawagan sa ating kataas-taasang hukuman. Alam ko po na maraming kasong nakahain sa kanila which are of equal importance. Pero ito pong constitutionality ng 2025 sana po makasama dun sa mga priority na inyong i-resolve sapagkat kami po sa pagpakita ng paggalang sa ating ombudsman, kahit nga po hindi kami nag-agree na may kinalaman yung aming criminal complaint doon sa constitutionality ng GAA, hindi po kami humigit po. Kami po ay patiently waiting for your resolution. Sana po, we can also, dumating rin po agad yung panahon that we can also make accountable. People who are accountable doon sa, alam po ninyo, noong araw meron tayong kasabihan yung mga bantay sa lakay. Yung po kasing kongreso natin ang bantay sa ating force. Pero kung sila po yung magnanakaw, bantay sa lakay nga po ang tawag natin. At saka kung hindi po nila susundin, ito po hindi talaga nabanggit dalawang beses ko po binasa yung privilege speech ni Kong Ugat, hindi ko maintindihan kagabi. Binasa ko ulit yung umaga. Nasandaan ko, labing apat na kanyang appropriations sa akin. Talagang appropriated yung pondo. Isa na rin po dito, yung kailangan malaman ito ng mamamayang bayan. Yung sa syntax po, 80% ng kikitain doon, ibibigay sa PhilHealth. Sa appropriation po, zero. Walang ibinigay para sa kalusugan ng mga mamamayang Pilipino. Para sa akin po, hindi nyo na tinitignan ng kabutihan ng mga Pilipino pagka ganyan kayo. So marami po mga pagkakamali, marami po mga dapat ayusin, kaya dapat po ayusin natin. At sinasabi ko na nga rin po, siguro po, ulitin ko lang, napapanahon, magpalit tayo ng leadership. At siguro palitan natin yung pamamaraan ng pagboto, hindi partido. Yung makalumang paraan where the position seeks the person instead of the person seeking the position. Kasi pagka po yung person seeking the position, magulo po madaya. Yung may pera, yung powerful, mananalo. Pero if the position seeks the person, kahit po yung pinakamaliit, kahit po yung pinaka walang boses, pero qualified, pwedeng manalo. Pwede pong manalo si Kong Ungag pagka ganun ang usapan. Maraming salamat po.